question regarding creation. I see myself as being both a creator and a healer is kind of the things I've been working on for quite some time. And the idea was energy. It's all about energy and about focus. And I appreciate that you've been talking about focus more and more and more, because it's not focusing on what we have, it's about where you want to go. And so the more clearly you have focus on what the future looks like, the quicker it manifests.
But there's a piece in that that's still a bit of a flawed premise, because calling it the future, it is the manifested future.
Yes, most definitely.
But it's the current reality. It's not the future reality. Otherwise, you couldn't feel it now. Wait one, because this is an important distinction. When you're looking, when you are outside the vortex, you can see plenty with your eyes and hear it with your ears and so forth. But you can't see into the vortex. That's what bothered you about us labeling it in the way that we did. But you can feel the vortex. So as you recognize that you're wanting to define this vortex in feeling terms rather than in visual or auditory terms, then anybody can get there. That's what we meant earlier when we were talking to the woman who had pain in her body. She can feel emotional hope, even while she's experiencing physical pain. And that is such an important distinction, because the now reality will suck you in and keep you from ever having any improvement at all if you're not able to feel apart from what is. Right. What has manifested. Right. So that's why we like to sort of knock you over the head with the idea that everything that's manifested is old news.
Right.
Because what's in this vortex is current.
Now, I guess the question is more about how to have a quicker manifestation of the vibrational essence of the thing that we are trying to precipitate out of the ether, if you will, into the time-space reality. And the thought was looking at Einstein's theory equals mc squared, energy equals mass times speed of light squared. And so I thought, well, if we're trying to create mass or material or physical elements, then it's mass equals...
But what Einstein didn't tell you yet is that what's happening in this vortex, it is already amassed there. The fact that, you see, you're all hung up on this physical stuff as if it is more real than what's over here.
No, I'm still with you. But the idea was the more energy that goes into and the focus at a speed produces physical manifestation.
So what slows speed of anything?
Focus and energy. So
what slows the speed of anything?
Resistance.
And so if you are focusing in the direction of the vortex where there is not resistance, then the time between the not having and the having of something is instantaneous.
Well, in theory, right? But
in reality, in practice.
Well, that is the practice.
And if you question that, if you question that, it is only because the best story that we have, there are endless, but we'll just give this one to you as you're saying in theory, because we're visiting with a woman who wanted change and couldn't figure out how to get it and had been unhappy in not having the change that she wanted. So she wanted a fortune telling from us in order to make it more easy for her to believe.
Right.
Well, we're really not interested in telling fortune. We're interested in teaching focus, teaching vibration, as are you. So we wanted, you used the perfect words, we were using the distraction technique with her, because we knew she'd already done the work. She'd already asked and asked and asked. We knew everything that she wanted was queued up. She just had to stop doing that thing that she did all day, every day, and it would begin to flow into her experience.
And that is a practice, right?
But she couldn't hear us because she's so caught up in reality, so addicted to talking about what is. So we said in our distraction effort, let's talk about blue glass. It annoyed her. Why? Well, because blue glass is beautiful. So what? Well, there are a lot of different things you can do with blue glass. Who cares? But we stayed on the subject of blue glass for a little over a minute. Then we said, let's talk about butterflies. Why? Butterflies are beautiful. So what? They are plentiful and come in all sizes and colors. Who cares? But we stayed with the subject. These are her response. Who cares? We stayed with the subject for a little over a minute, and then we said, let's talk about feathers. Why? Because feathers are interesting. Not to me. So 3 subjects. The telephone consultation ended. It was years ago when Jerry and Esther were traveling less and still doing consultations on the phone. And then Esther said she's going to want her money back. And Jerry had not been in the room, so he was not aware of what the conversation had been. And they were in San Diego. They went to La Jolla for lunch. They parked the car, and as they got out of the car, Esther was compelled to go inside a shop. Now, that's not altogether unusual, but they had planned to go down the street to George's for lunch. So Esther goes right into the shop, and Jerry follows her because he can't stop her. And when she gets deep back into this shop, there is a wall of blue glass. Unbelievable colors and textures, the most unspeakable variety of blue glass. Jerry and Esther are not interested in blue glass. Jerry had no connection to it at all, and Esther didn't make any connection either. She just acknowledged, look at this wall of blue glass. They left the shop, went to George's, had lunch, and then walked down to the cove. Here is the most beautiful place where the land meets the sea, and as they are walking across the big lawn, a flurry of butterflies surrounded them that was so intense they had to stop talking to keep from eating them. Esther still did not make the association. And then a little boy who she did not know, 4 years old about, came running up to her with something in his hand. And when he got there, he handed her a feather. And then Esther remembered the consultation and the conversation. And she said to Jerry, it's not been much over an hour. And these 3 subjects that hold no resistance whatsoever in my vibration, that were focused upon for as little as 68 seconds, have come into full manifestation in my experience. Now, that's not instant manifestation, but it's pretty darn close. Right. And what we're getting at is this cooperative universe that has assembled all of the components. If you keep feeling your way in for no good reason other than it feels good to be there, as you feel your way in and feel your way in, and then milk it once you get there until you practice the vibration of feeling good, of feeling love, of positive expectation, of knowing your strengths, of knowing your power, of knowing your worthiness, of knowing who you are, as you make those your dynamic and chronic vibrations, you are going to begin to experience what we call real time. Because, now this is what we want you to hear. You don't know it yet, but you're so close to knowing it. As a problem is coming into focus, so is the solution. They are coming into focus simultaneously. And when you know that and spend time in the vortex, then sometimes before the problem has even demonstrated itself to you in a way that you can articulate it or even address it, the solution is so fast upon you that you don't even really know you've had a problem. Haven't you had the experience while you're moving in traffic of having a sense of what that guy up ahead of you is going to do something squirrely? You even know where he's going to go. So you slow down, get yourself steadied, and sure enough, then he does that thing, but you're ready for it because the solution was in you before the problem presented itself to you. And we want you to understand that this bounce that we're talking about, this vortex that you have created, this reality that was the bounce that caused you to create it, they are equal in their ability to manifest. You just manifest what is because you're focused more upon what is. But this reality, if you would just get in the vortex and feel better longer, would manifest immediately. Immediately. This is not theoretical. This is law. Right. This is law. Right. And as we say often, and we've enjoyed this interaction immensely, words don't teach. It's life experience that teaches. It's the juxtaposition of your 2 vibrational aspects and how they relate to one another. It's law of attraction, assembling the components, and you deciding. You've got one decision to make in every moment of every day, and that's it. One simple decision. We've made this all so complicated. It really comes down to one simple decision. In my physical body, do I choose to be a cooperative component to what is, or an uncooperative component to what is? What is in this vibrational reality? And the fact is, most people are so busy observing and describing and talking about what's manifested that in that observation they hold themselves as uncooperative components of the improvement. Because you can't be a match to the improved and to the what caused the reason for wanting the improvement at the same time. You cannot be a match to the question and the answer, or to the problem and the solution at the same time. It's one or the other. Right. You see. Now we distracted you from some place you were going. Are you still there?
A number of different perspectives.
Harder to find it though now, isn't it?
Yeah. It was the scripted stuff I'd done before I got here.
Because from inside the vortex, the answer is more a part of your knowing.
Yeah, that question is fully answered. There was more questions I was queuing up as we were trying to get through that one. I thought, to wait for the tape to get the answer. Thank you.
Co-creation at its worst.
Yeah. Right.
Just playing with you, but if you're not listening to what we're saying, we can't move on.
Amen. Got it. Thank you.
So, what is it?